Hi everyone, I thought it would be good to record a video on how to start a research project. So, for your research project, you need to identify a topic and then come up with a research question, aims and/or objectives. You need to have a look what there is in books on the internet and do a literature search. You need to identify any problems. You need to consider methodology, the way you're going to collect your data. Whilst you're doing that, you also need to think about ethics and any ethical considerations. Later on, you need to collect your data, analyze your data, and interpret your results, and then you need to evaluate your results. As a part of your research project, you need to complete an action plan. So you need to break down your research project into manageable objectives. And with that in mind, you need to think the things that you need to do for your project and when for will you complete them. So I have an example that I've completed myself that I'm going to show you. And this is an example of a completed action plan. So for example, on the 8th of March, I decided that I'm going to think about my research topic, and I will decide by the 15th of March. And then on the 15th of March, I already decided on my research topic, which I didn't fill in this form, but I thought I've decided on it. And then I started thinking about a research question. And I thought I'll design a research question by the 20th of March. And actually, it's okay that I've left the outcome for my research topic blank just yet, just because I thought that whilst I'm designing my research question, my topic might change. Therefore, on the same day, on the 15th of March, I thought that it would be a good idea to do some background research and to have a look what is available on the internet, what I can find in books and things. Another document that needs to be completed for the research project is proposal plan for the research project, which requires the title of the project and the topic, questions devised, literature review, what sources am I going to use for my research, which books, which websites, which scholarly articles, and then also I need to think of different methods of data collection. How exactly am I going to collect the data? Am I going to use questionnaires that people are going to fill out and then analyze those? Am I going to conduct some interviews? I need to think about it. After some careful consideration, I actually decided that my topic is going to be hygiene. But since I spent some time on the internet on Google Scholar, I realized that actually I can link hygiene to the current pandemic, coronavirus. Therefore, I thought my question could be human hygiene in relation to the current pandemic, the coronavirus. So my question is, to what extent does the current guideline of washing hands prevent the spread of the coronavirus? I've also filled out a literature review. I had 3 references in there at the minute. But again, there's more on the internet that I found that are really good and valid. And the sources that I have here in this example are the ones that I found on Google Scholar. So they are accessible. And in terms of the methods of collection the data, I'm thinking that I could use both mixed methods, quantitative and qualitative. So I could use questionnaires and some interviews for my research. As I'm using mixed methods, I thought that it would be a good idea for me to start with a quantitative approach and design some questionnaires. Here on this slide, I have an example of a question. How often do you wash your hands with soap and water? Please select the most appropriate answer. This would allow my participants to select one of these 5 answers available on my questionnaire. Less than 2 times a day, between 3 and 6 times a day, between 6 and 9 times per day, between 9 and 12 times per day, and more than 12 times per day. So my question is direct. It's a closed question. And I already have some pre-made answers in my questionnaire for my participants. All they need to do is just to select one of these answers. And this is an example of a quantitative research. Later on, I thought it would be a good idea to use a qualitative approach as well, an interview. And an example of a question in qualitative, the interview could be, please describe and explain the technique you use when washing your hands. This would allow my participants to explain to me in greater detail the exact technique that they use when they wash their hands. For this research project, you need to compose and write a research question. However, research questions start with selecting a topic. So you need to select a topic for your research question first. There is a great selection of topics in the guideline for you. You could choose ethical challenges associated with health and social care research, parental awareness of bullying prevention and intervention strategies in case of online abuse, social inequalities and exposure to environmental risk factors in terms of health in the UK, assessing the financial sustainability of the healthcare system in the UK, recommendations for policy making, the impact of technology on social life in modern times, impact on generational division, social stigma related to depression, evaluating the public perception regarding causes of depression and its impact on treatment, seeking attitudes. Or you could choose one of the following: determining the prevalence and factors that lead to domestic violence against women in the UK in the 21st century, reintegration of ex-combatants, soldiers returning from war zones into the social fabric, recommendations for policy making and developing specialized social care services. Youth violence in the UK, identifying risk factors and evaluating the effectiveness of prevention strategies, evaluating the effectiveness of contemporary health promotions in terms of public awareness of Public Health England initiatives. And the list of topics even continues. You could still choose the following: expectations, funding, well-being, knowledge, awareness, partnership working, support networks, requirements, needs-led, accessibility, demand sourcing, postcode lottery, which refers to geographic location, exchange of information, expression of needs and wants, social interaction, observation, assessment, agreement and review, person-centered and autonomy. However, these examples can carry on. There might be some other topics that you're interested in and you would like to explore in your research. As long as these topics relate to health and social care, you can go ahead and research them. So for your topic, you need to select something that you have interest in, something that maybe you already have prior knowledge of, Maybe you've used that topic in your previous assignment, but you want to look at it from a different angle and you want to research something specific about it that you have not yet researched in your previous work. You need to select one topic and focus on it. Check if there is any information about this topic available to you. Explore it in greater depth. And you need to think what exactly you would like to know about this topic. So you need to go on the internet, look into books, have a look what is available. Find a topic that you like, that interests you, and then start exploring it in greater depth and see if there is anything else about this topic that you still don't know or you would like to research. Personally, I went to Google Scholar and checked what information is available in relation to coronavirus and washing hands. This is a screenshot of Google Scholar of my search. So I went to Google Scholar, typed in COVID/19, and then on the left hand side I selected since 2020 and sort by prevalence. Now you can change the settings depending on the topic, so you could select a different year and you might wish to sort information by date. And then my research continued and I actually found out that there is a lot of information about the current coronavirus COVID-19 in relation to washing hands. Researching washing hands in relation to the coronavirus has taken me some time. I had to click on journal articles and read them. So instead of reading the full article, I only read the abstract. The abstract is a short summary of the full article, and if it's really good, it will allow me to understand whether I can use this article for my particular research or not. For example, this abstract of coronavirus is really good, but reading it, I actually didn't find any information on washing hands. So I might use this in my research. I might use this article in terms of defining the coronavirus and maybe mentioning some implications of the virus. But it doesn't directly answer my question. It's not directly relevant to my question. So this article is still relevant, but it's not as good as what I'm looking for. But all this information I found just from reading the abstract. Spending time on Google Scholar and reading books is a part of the literature search. So for the project, you need to complete a literature search, which is 600 words long. You need to select a range of resources to be used in the proposed research. Explain why these have been chosen. This is the background to your chosen subject, shows your understanding of the topic. You need to look at 3 pieces, a positive, a negative, and a neutral. Look at concepts and theories surrounding the subject, methods used for previous work, and any relevant conclusions found, and summarize these. In terms of my research, washing hands in relation to the coronavirus, I decided to use all the resources from 2020 on Google Scholar, and I'm checking that these are reliable sources and then they provide objective information about the topic, which is based on facts. So I'm looking for good journal articles, and I'm also always checking the World Health Organization website as well and the NHS website. One of the positives could be washing hands with soap and water is a proven effective method. It is scientifically tested. Clean hands dramatically reduce the spread of viruses, which means that washing hands actually reduces the opportunity of getting the coronavirus. One of the negatives could be that excessive hand washing can cause damage of the skin, which can lead to eczema-like symptoms. Damaged skin is more prone to becoming infected with bacteria and viruses. And a neutral point could be that washing hands and other hygiene routines should be the norm in any situation anyway. When forming your research question, you should avoid yes or no questions. The question should require you to explain or defend an answer. And when you're forming your research question, you should consider other factors as well. Consider the time constraint of the project. Consider the word count that is available for your project. The resources available for the background research of your project. So what books are available, what websites you can use, which articles you can use for your background research, the methods for collecting the data, whether you're going to use interviews or questionnaires that can be filled in class potentially, the availability of other resources, the sample size, and other limitations. When you're forming your research question, you need to start with a topic and then have a look what's available to you in terms of your resources and start narrowing down your topic to a research question. You need to think why your research question is important and start your research question with such words as why, how, to what extent, because your research question needs to be analytical. So after I followed all of the advice, my research question is, to what extent does the current guideline of washing hands prevent the spread of the coronavirus? My research question is analytical. It does not have a yes or no answer. Therefore, it means that I need to go and investigate this question, as it's asking to what extent does the current guideline of washing hands prevent the spread of COVID-19. I hope that this video was helpful, and now it will be easier for you to create your research question. Thank you for watching.